Guys, thank you so much for connecting to our collective calls. Today is Thursday, and we got two amazing projects today to pitch here. Hopefully, one 100%, but two, well, we'll see that in a bit. So first of all, we are Ivan and Malika. We are hosts of these meetings, and as I said before, we got two projects today. And first, we got NEC, a project called NEC, and Sumante Hutchinson is here to present it to you guys. And hopefully, we got a project called Cage.fun. Let's start with a project called NEC. And Sumante, passing the mic to you. Happy to see you, man. Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. It's funny you kept saying NEC, and it's actually an acronym. It's NEC, so it stands for...
Sorry for butchering your name. I was thinking that, NEC or NEC, well, really it was a Swiss thing, but yeah, I decided to go for, a wrong name, so I'm pretty sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's an acronym. It stands for No Established Culture, and actually, NEC is a holding company. It originally originated as a production group that I started actually as a teen way back in 2011, and under it, actually now I have a whole production company, Phantom Ellis Records, and a blockchain division, CrowdSurf Live, and another entity for creative content, GSG, which is me as the producer. And through that, I've developed HC Music DAO, and I'm here at the Solana office here in San Francisco right now. And I'm building a music tokenization platform. So I went to film school at UC Santa Cruz, and then I transferred to Long Island University because they gave me a full scholarship to go to the Rock Nation School of Music, Sports, and Entertainment. And that was where I really built out the project that we're really corely focused on right now, which is HC Music. Through the different subsidiaries that I mentioned, I'm partnered with Sony Music Publishing, and we have major distribution through AWAL, and we're really looking to scale our growth on that side. And what we're building is as I mentioned, music tokenization platform. So what I mean by that is we're using the music and the copyright as well as the publishing streams and other royalty streams associated with songs as a RWA or real world asset on the blockchain. So HC Music, as I mentioned, is a music tokenization platform. And essentially, what we're building here is a means for me to be able to bring music on chain. So the problem essentially is that with emerging technologies like blockchain, Web3, producers, musicians, creatives, we need platforms that connect people with an audience and also compensate them fairly. Currently, there's, Spotify, Apple Music, and so on and so forth. And we use these platforms as a distribution channel. But in terms of compensation, they're not very equitable. They operate on a pro rata based share. So the more of a share in the streaming pool that you have, the larger your payouts. Whereas we want to be able to connect people directly without there being any sort of intermediaries involved in the payouts, to where fans can fund their favorite acts directly. Because of the cost and difficulty of breaking in the mainstream, it currently costs anywhere from $250,000 to up to $2 million just to break an act into the music business. That's including recording costs, production, so on and so forth. And they have to recoup these costs in being paid 0.0003 cents per stream isn't a very equitable payout. And so through cryptocurrency and the blockchain, we're basically solving that by creating an asset in a deflationary environment through our HCMZ token, which we'd be using for artist deals and that sort of stuff. So I have firsthand experience, as I mentioned, as a producer, label founder. We see the power of decentralization. While we are currently focused on the Solana blockchain, we do utilize the Wormhole protocol, which is an interoperability protocol to be able to transfer assets across different layer one blockchains, including Ethereum, Avalanche, Binance Smart Chain, so on and so forth. And we'd be using our token as well as NFTs in conjunction with DeFi, decentralized finance, to create what we call MusicFi, essentially cross-collateralizing music rights and royalties with digital assets. So currently it takes anywhere between 30 to 90 days for royalties and sales to reach the rights holders. And with the blockchain, that can be done in a matter of minutes. It doesn't have to be a quarterly payout, because we have the ability to basically analyze the streaming performance data and the analytics to predict future payouts, and then go ahead and proactively do that in near real time, rather than having to wait on distributors and publishers to pay out once every month or once every quarter. And due to certain outdated laws, there's actually a lot of pay-to-play practices. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this, but currently major artist Drake has a lawsuit against Universal Music. And basically the claim is that during his highly publicized rap beef with Kendrick Lamar last year, that UMG went ahead and had his streams boosted using bots and so on and so forth, which is technically considered streaming fraud. And the reason why this is a problem, and it's another thing that we're looking to tackle using on-chain governance, is that while Spotify or Apple, they may not bat an eye at somebody like Kendrick Lamar or Beyonce or whoever using these tactics to promote their work, the smaller players are left out because, as I mentioned, with that pro rata streaming share, they're receiving less of a portion of the payouts, but they're also in a situation where they're not able to take advantage of those same opportunities. So there's an inequity in pay, as I mentioned. So as I mentioned, we're doing tokenized music distribution. It's seamless and scalable through the blockchain, and we imagine just growing and creating a more vibrant audience. It's a really huge market size, growing to up to $90 billion by 2030. The streaming market alone is growing to about $35 billion by 2030. And we're a very small core team. We met through the hackathons. We actually launched, and we're looking to just grow. And we're currently fundraising. We're doing a fundraiser through the Equity C Corp for $20 million. We have some LOIs for $20 million. We've got in touch with several different firms, and we're looking to just get our term sheet all timed out. Thank you.
Yeah, right on. Thank you so much for the pitch. We're now to Q&A part, and we already gathered some questions, so let me read them real quick. First, with partnerships like Sony Music Publishing and AWAL, how do you plan to balance the traditional music industry with Web3 innovations? Is there a tension between these two worlds?
Yes, so because of the nature of our contracts, we still own all of the rights to everything, and any rights that we would acquire or anything that we would produce, we essentially have full creative control. They're just in an administrative role to where they help us with global distribution, radio promotion, playlist promotion, that sort of stuff. And they take a 15% cut, but we're actually in a position to where we have full autonomy over the catalog and the execution of the strategy and using it on chain.
Thanks. Hopefully that answered the question. Next, what kind of traction or early success have you seen so far with HD Music DAO? And what has been the most surprising or exciting outcome?
Yeah, so actually in terms of traction with the DAO, we have several centralized exchange listing offers at MEXC, Gate.io still doing our application. They're also considering doing on a venture side. And of course, as I mentioned, I'm connected with Solana Foundation. I'm here in the SF ecosystem office, and we're trying to really just grow in an organic way. In terms of the HCMZ token, we have a very unique distribution and tokenomics model in that while 40% of the supply is publicly available, 40% is private, 10% DAO, 10% team, we're not using the token for fundraising for operations. We're using it for strictly internal purposes, as well as, use within the DAO in terms of our applications of the various utilities of it in association with music.
Cool. Thank you for taking care of the question. Let's talk about, I also have a question, Sumante, if you don't mind. Please tell us about how basically, does tokenization, how does the tokenizing music benefit artists? So what about the artist side?
So as I mentioned, due to the equitability of the current popular model, which would be direct to streaming sites, in a tokenized ecosystem, you're able to create a space where artists are able to monetize their music in different ways. They're even able to create investment contracts technically, which would be considered securities in the form of NFTs, fractional sharing of these songs. So for example, say if I took a song and I put it on the blockchain and I made 1,000 NFTs and each one represented a percentage of that song's future royalties, we can automate that distribution process through a smart contract to be able to ensure that whoever owns whatever portion of that mint effectively receives their due earnings each time they're paid out.
Thanks.
I see a question about how do we differentiate from
Thank you so much for asking.
So actually, we use SoundXZs as a distribution channel. So this is the thing. Audius, SoundXZs, a lot of these platforms, they don't own any content rights. They don't produce any content. We produce our own content, we acquire content rights, we operate within the label infrastructure, and then we're also hosting events and all sorts of other things to where we use like Audius, SoundXZs, TuneFM as Web3 channels to be able to put out the catalog and put out the content. So we're actually active in those spaces as well. So we operate more as a digital label. Somewhat, yes. With blockchain integrated different features, yes.
Yeah, that's cool. And also, Sumante, could you tell us a bit more about the competition and the future plans of the platform, as we have not much time left, but still a couple of last questions.
Sure. So I've definitely taken a look into like all the different music projects. And what I will say is that there are some like Opulus, I believe, is one that has like music NFTs and stuff. But what I've noticed is that one, they have a very, very limited offering. We've already put out, I alone have put out like over 100 something songs in a catalog. They probably have like 20, and most of theirs are like AI produced. And then I have 10 plus artists plus access to the whole Rock Nation program of artists that we're onboarding into this platform. So over time, we anticipate growing into having a catalog of thousands of songs made by real people. And that's like the most important part to me is I feel like there's a big shift in people wanting to use AI, and I'm not against it. I like AI, but I think that music at the end of the day is something that you feel, and it's something that we can all create and connect with. And that I think it's important to advocate for these artists.
Yeah, totally. And also just last comment from Hernan, how do you go about curation and music selection and exposure on your platform?
I'm very active in listening to people's music all the time. I was literally at Empire Studio last week with the Recording Academy, Grammy U chapter here in SF. So I'm active on the ground, like looking for artists all the time. So are my friends and the people that I work with. And it's very much of like just trying to build a community. Like, and I have a very particular ear for music though too. Like I pride myself in quality, and I think I have great music taste. And so if I like it, if it can get in with me, then I feel like it can get in with a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And last one, tell us more about your revenue model, please.
Yeah, revenue model. Actually, I can show you a flow chart that'll be a lot easier than me just explaining it. Just one moment. Okay, so here at the top, we have our music catalog. Of course, as I mentioned, we're looking to expand it. And then from there, you would have your streaming and your sales platforms. You know, your Spotify, Apple, Tidal, iTunes, as well as like the Web3 platforms that I mentioned, SoundXZ, so on and so forth. Then there's also sync licensing, which is television and film placements, public performance, live shows, radio, so on and so forth, as well as mechanical royalties, which are I call them like a secondary royalty on top of the streaming and sales. That's all collected and aggregated. It's sent to the publishing administrators and distributors. We receive the net earnings after they take their 15% cut. And then we're actually putting that directly into the HC Music liquidity pool. So we're providing liquidity into the token through the catalog, essentially. And then through that, we go through token buybacks, which can reduce the token supply. As I mentioned, liquidity provision, which prospectively would increase trading liquidity, potential token value increase. As well as like marketing, development, adoption, so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Sumante, for tuning in. I think we ran out of the time in terms of the Q&A section, but still, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for hopping in on this call. Wishing you best of luck, man.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, and we've got Hernan pitching Cage.fun today.
All right, guys. So, pleasure to be with you guys again. I am Hernan, co-founder and CPO of Cage.fun. This is a very interesting and impacting AI agent battle game where AI agents are trading against each other in ultra quick trading battles, and the users get to bet on the agents, create their agents, and train them on different AI and DeFi methods. So basically, what we are building is a very interactive game where you can create your own agents, and the bottom line is where we can obtain an agent that is consistently profitable, right? That is kind of the mecca of where DeFi is going, and that is what we're building at Cage. So right now, you can obviously play and bet on the agents that are trading and see which one is winning. But the next V1 that we will put out, you'll be able to create your agents, you'll be able to train them with different strategies, and you'll earn Cage not only as a creator of those agents, but also by selecting the agents that are doing better. All right, so I guess the opportunity is quite obvious. You guys know that DeFi and AI agents have been really going up a lot, especially last year, the end of last year. I think they're picking up again. So we saw crazy valuations like $5 billion on virtuals, and some other leading AI agents do very well. But we haven't yet identified that agent that can consistently profitable. That's going to be probably the gold mine we're all after in this DeFi space. The business model is very, very bountiful because we are not only planning on making some fees from the creation of the agents and the customization, like integration to different socials, but also from the battles themselves. So we would charge a percentage of the outcome, and also the trading fees when you're copying an agent and trading with them. We'll also take a bit of a percentage of those copy trades within our platform, and then we're going to develop some premium features like advanced strategies, new token snipes, and whatnot, right? So this is what's coming on the pipeline. We have a lot of features that we want to add to those agents, like copy trading, custom strategies, and then obviously we want to get to an agent that is fully autonomous and trading from within. But this is more or less what the platform will look like on the web. Right now we have a POC which is in Telegram. It's a small Telegram game that I'll be happy to give you some traction on. But this is how you'll see, right? You'll see, okay, these agents are trading. This is betting, long or short in the different coins, and whatever coin goes up or down the most, you'll be either winning with the agent or losing if you pick the wrong agent, right? The losing agent. The idea here is to build a fully fledged on Street Fighter-like game so that we can also kind of brand it and people can play with these agents outside of the DeFi realm and just for fun and playing with them on different consoles. But that's going to be like V3, right? That's going to be the AAA game that we're building. Now, the Cage token allows you to create agents, customize them, train them, and you can utilize a lot of strategies to make them improve them. They're also learning after each fight. That's part of the machine learning process. And you will earn Cage when you win and you pick the right agent, when your agent is gaining popularity and winning a lot of trades. So that is what we're raising money for. We're raising money to launch the token. 41% of that's going to the backers, 17% of the team, and we're splitting most of that to the community and in the form of rewards and other liquidity, and you can see a full tokenomics over there. The team is super professional. Not only myself, but also Daniel and Ruby are building the tech day by day. The Pontem network is giving us support with their platform and their users and their team. And this is how we're building the team. We're right now bootstrapped, but we are building on providing a very, very rich roadmap coming up. So sorry for the noise. My kids want to barge in. And so we have a very rich launchpad and roadmap up ahead. So this is a raise. We're raising $500,000, almost completing our seed round, and the private round will be 2.5 mil. And this is, hope you can join us and enjoy the game. Join us in Telegram and tell us what you think.
Thanks. Thank you, Hernan, for the great pitch, and thanks for being on time. We already got some questions. Yeah, that's a fun one. How wild do these trading battles get? can we actually watch agents go head to head in real time?
Well, right now, yes. In the Telegram group, you'll see them. Right now, the way that it works, you don't have the live action between the trading, but the way that it works right now is when you go into the Cage.fun Telegram, you can access the group where the Cage battles are taking on. You'll get, if you comment on the group, just a GM or whatever, you'll get a daily allocation of 50 crystals, right? We're using those crystals as a method for the Cage airdrop that's coming up. So you can claim 50 crystals every day that you join the group and just chat a bit with the community. And those crystals you can use to place your wagers on different agents. Right now, we have 4 key agents. There's Agent Ben, Agent Exor, Agent Snipe, and Agent Aurora. And every minute there's a battle. You pick one of them. They are telling you which token they are selecting out of their technical analysis and what they're looking up in the market. Whatever token goes up the most or down the least, if both are going down, is the agent that's going to win, and you either can double your wager amount or you lose the specific amount that you wagered.
Thanks. Hope it answers the question. Another one, how you balance human input versus agent autonomy?
Oh, that's a great question. So right now, most of the the TA is being done by the agents. So the agents are looking at the charts. They are picking the coins themselves out of volume and market analysis, right? But right now, we are the ones that are the agents are pretty static. Like what they're doing is just picking coin, trading, and trading against each other, right? They're not going off the internet. They obviously are going to be able to tweet about their battles and learn each other, but they are constrained in that they are focused on DeFi trading, and that's kind of their what their training is oriented. But as human input goes, as we improve the versions and we make them more versatile, well, eventually they'll be able to, look into different options and have also a broader spectrum, right?
Thanks. You mentioned anonymously famous. What does fame look like in the Cage.fun universe?
Right. So what we mean by anonymously famous is that the one that's going to get famous is your agent if it's trading well, right? So you're going to train your agent, you're going to create it, and if your agent is starting to do good, well, your agent's going to be famous. So you're kind of indirectly famous when your agent starts gaining popularity. Let's say it like that.
Thanks. Yeah. And how many users do you have for now, players?
So we got into a great Tapens campaign, which is bringing on a lot of users. Let me just give you the exact numbers that we have right now, so that I'm not just making things up. Right now, we have we surpassed 1,000 members that are playing every day. We are growing really fast, like exponentially. So I remind you that we just launched the game like a month or so ago. And I'd also love to share this part, which is, it shows a bit of the traction that we've been getting. So we've been getting amazing responses to tweets. So these are some of the user surprise. They're really happy with the progress. These are some user responses that we've selected out of all the feedback that we're getting. But the community is getting excited. This is the joint campaign has brought on some good users, and we're getting a lot of feedback, right? Most of the clear feedback that we're getting is, hey, we would like to see these agents in live action, right? Like live battles. And this is obviously what separates right now just DeFi agents and training them for DeFi capabilities, and a proper battle game that is what we want to build. So those are that's the blend, right? The gaming and DeFi capabilities.
Okay. That's great. Thanks.
Yeah, if we have a minute, I have a question, maybe last one, if you allow. So Hernan, please tell us about, the ultimate mission of the platform? So what are your long-term goals for the project?
Well, that's a great question. Okay, so we have two goals in mind that are kind of part of the long-term vision, and the what are we building towards, right? So of course we want to make this a fun and amazing experience for our users, but we have two fronts that are colliding, and that we're seeing them come to life in real time, right? One of them is the DeFi space. We believe that eventually most of the trading are going to be done by AI and agents, and we are just going to have our agent trade for us on the tokens that we're most interested in. I think that's going to happen. So we want to be on the forefront of that and get to those very well-trained agents that can execute on trades better than any human can. So I think that on the DeFi front, we're building towards that. The other side of thing, which is the gaming part, is where I see us building like a global brand, right? We want to build some level of, Street Fighter. I was always grew up playing that with my friends, and we used to spend hours in Chema's house in Mexico playing against each other on Street Fighter. So I grew up with when it went up in arcade, the number 2, 3, 4, 5, and then PlayStation and all the Street Fighters that came up. So I've been a long time fan of that game. So if I can bring at least a similar global fighting game brand to the world, then I will be very happy with that achievement. It'll be a long-term dream for me.
Yeah, right on. Totally agree. That gamified experience is nothing can be compared with that. And we got also last question. Let's go. What's been the craziest thing you've seen an AI agent do during a battle so far? It's already a great story there.
Yeah, that's easy. I've seen some. It happens very, very seldomly, but there are times when the agents pick a stablecoin as their pick.
What?
I see it like as an hallucination. Why would they select a stablecoin? Well, maybe if the whole market is tanking, then picking a stablecoin is probably a good option, right?
Yeah, that's really curious. Interesting case. I wouldn't bet on that as well, but maybe that guy had a plan.
Yeah, but I won't take that agent for my long-term crypto strategy.
Totally. Okay, so thank you so much, Hernan, for being on this call. It was a pleasure, definitely. Looking forward to see you again on these calls, right? And yeah, guys, all the participants, thank you so much for being here. Hernan and Sumante, it's been a pleasure, and have a great weekend. See you next week.